Hello.
It's probably
Hello.
after this chapter.
Okay.
I bet. Because we're still in the... was it prologue? Because we're still in 000, so...
That might just be the save data. Wait, really? Oh my gosh. This is great.
Yes? Hang on. Okay.
Get
By the
her
way,
in character.
did you guys change those settings so you can be recorded on the stream?
I should be good.
Yes. Which, speaking of recording, I'm just going to do that real quick.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Only Cloud can record.
Oh.
Because it says you have to open up the game first. I was just like, this is not a game. Yeah. It
Okay,
you better.
good.
Of course.
Alright.
You're the one that sent me over there. Tip me away, how dare you.
Dude, you hit Nelly. I can't believe it, man. I think that's something we forgot to mention. Because in the line, it's like, what is it? Mel, you hit me. I'm like, what? I was muted, but I was like, what?
Well, I also noticed after he said that there was like a little slap sound before that.
Oh, man. That's
yeah, it's
crazy.
a little slap sound, and it's very hard. It was very easily missed.
Dude, the abuse is real.
Alright, let's get started. Everybody ready?
I'm good.
Yes.
Okay. Alright. We finally reached this point in the tale, Master. If your memory has been refreshed, then we can return to the mansion immediately. Very well, then. If you insist, Master, we shall proceed with the story. It was a stormy night, much like the one the white-haired girl had first arrived on. It was quiet as a crypt in the mansion, not a single light visible in the halls. The house sat in wait for the sun to peek out over the horizon. The darkness is, generally speaking, something that rushes by like a gust of wind as we sleep. The flaxen-haired young man, too, lay in bed, pale blue moonlight sporadically streaming through the gaps in his drawn velvet curtains as he attempted to submit to slumber. He was having difficulty drifting off, but as time trickled onward, he drew closer and closer to the arms of Morpheus. Suddenly he sensed a presence in the room, much like the one from those nights some weeks earlier. A slender, feminine finger pressed gently against his lips. There was no hostility in the motion, but rather a great deal of affection. The silhouette faintly visible in the dark room was the same as that night. A flash of lightning shone through the drawn curtains, illuminating her beautiful white hair. Several silky locks spilled over her shoulders and brushed against Mel's cheeks. A couple soft puffs of air tickled his face, as though she were silently laughing. He assumed her finger, held against his lips, was her way of telling him to stay quiet. She began to slowly, delicately trace the outline of his mouth, moving down his cheek and along his jawline, as if over porcelain. the boy said in an attempt to conceal his surprise. Do you remember the night she came to exact revenge on him for her father? Indeed, she had proven herself to be a rather bold girl once already. Before he could finish, the white-haired girl sealed his lips with her own. In the near-total darkness of his bedchamber, the two shadows appeared as one. They remained that way for several minutes. Their kiss was innocent, no more than the pressing together of two pairs of lips. And at the same time, the white-haired girl lovingly ran her fingertips across his skin. When their lips separated, Mel gasped for air. It seemed he had been holding his breath. Slightly embarrassed at himself, he said,
"Dearest Mel."
Nothing. He could not speak. The silhouette hanging above him was certainly the white-haired girl's. Or was it? Because his next words were... He reflexively shoved the girl straddling him aside. She rolled off the bed, landing on the cold floor, but slowly, gradually, she crawled her way back toward him.
That wasn't very nice.
Veiled in darkness, she slowly lifted her head. And then, there was another flash of lightning. The heavy fabric of the curtains rustled, bolts of light streaming between the gaps. Her flaxen irises glimmered, though in the bluish-white light they took on a twinge of almost golden glow.
No need to be rough. This isn't the first time she's visited your bedchamber. Is it, Mel? Or did I not kiss you the same way? Tell me, how does she run her fingers across your skin? What does she do when she nuzzles up to you? Because you like white hair, don't you, Mel? You like white hair, which is why you fell for her, isn't it? So if I have white hair, then you'll fall for me too. Then I can be your princess again, dearest Mel.
He could not escape from her, from his sister's piercing gaze. Why? What happened? How could she? Questions crashed into the young man's mind like waves in a stormy sea. But none of them found answers. They simply caused him further perplexity.
Oh, this? You like my wig?
But as soon as the words left her mouth, Mel was in motion, propelled by pure instinct. He clenched Nellie's shoulders tight enough to dig his fingers into her flesh.
You're hurting me, Mel. I made her leave. It was a perfectly reasonable decision. She was obviously not nobility, and thus hardly fit to be a part of this household. But there's no need to worry, Mel. I'm here to take her place. I promise you that long before she ever did. And I love you far more than she did know. It's always her with you. What more could you want from me? Tell me, what does she have that I don't? What do I have to do to get you to focus on me and only me? Oh, understand it quite well. Far better than you, dearest Mel. I even know that a former queen was executed for it. But if we don't get caught, there's no problem. Oh my, you didn't notice, dearest Mel? You truly are a dense one. I guess romance just isn't your strong suit. But you've noticed now, haven't you? You know exactly how I feel about you, right? Poor Mel. Content in your complete ignorance. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Mel, you can only love blood-related women.
His cackling sister appeared to him like some kind of inhuman life form. Her actions and incomprehensible exclamations slowly drained him of his strength.
Your sister, Mel? Poor Mel. Do you honestly know nothing? Say that her father was a painter.
He painted pictures for a living.
For a time, her father painted for our family. You've seen the picture before, dearest Mel. The one hanging in my room of the two of us? That was painted by her father. He did a good job, didn't he? I kept asking and asking until you finally agreed to hold my hand. And how did you feel about that? You were rather embarrassed, weren't you? Do you remember that dear smell? You couldn't possibly remember it. But there's a chance you might remember this. Before we moved to this mansion, we had a painter with white hair.
He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family.
But that painter did something very, very bad. And because of that, he couldn't remain a part of our household. Do you know what he did, Mel? He lay with Mother.
My father was chased from your house.
If the child had been born with flaxen hair, then the painter would not have been thrown out. The baby would have been accepted as part of the family. But that wasn't how it turned out. The child had white hair. She didn't look at all like she carried the Rhodes family blood. But see, Mother had me. That I'm here is all the proof you need. The girl, born 16 years ago, didn't have flaxen hair.
Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his hands through my hair, an apologetic look on his face.
If you want to see it, I'll gladly show you. The artist left a message in the painting in my room. Tell me, am I truly wrong? What did that girl tell you? What part of it is a lie, Mel? Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Why don't you go ask Mother? I'm sure she would throw quite the fit.
The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant.
It never made sense to me. Why would she hire a maid she knew nothing about? Someone who just showed up at the door one day. And when I asked Mother to make her my maid, she stubbornly refused. From a good house, don't make me laugh. If she were really nobility, she would have given us her name. But Mother was so desperate to cover up her mistake. Wouldn't it be nice if you could bury your head in the sand? But Mel, Infringing ignorance is a sin. You just don't understand anything. How I feel, how much I've suffered. Do you have any idea how long I've loved you? Knowing that you would never accept my affection. But then, fancy that. You fell in love with your half-sister. Then I should qualify for your love too.
She's right.
Shouldn't I, Mel? Mel? I know you'll never love me. I know there's nowhere for me to run. Say, when we were kids, was that really me? Was I really by your side, Mel? If that painting tells the whole truth, I was never once did I get to be a princess. Not even once. Dearest Mel.
Oh no.
Everyone just loves to dote on me. They've always telling me how pretty I am. Mother does, father does. And all the maids do too. I can do anything I want. So for me, acting like a spoiled child is the only form of rebellion I have. I don't have the kind of freedom you do, Mel. I'm just a doll for the family to play with. When I have visitors, it's only ever for show. So it's not my fault that I don't have friends. Dearest Mel, you're the only one who's ever cared about me more than anything in the world. Dearest Mel, I always knew how I would react if you fell in love. I would cry my eyes out. I would envy her to death. I would get angry as a bull. But eventually, I would have given up. I knew I could never have it my way after all. That my feelings would never bear fruit. So why? Why? Did she have to be your sister? Tell me, why? Oh, dearest Mel, here you are again reading such hard books. Your eyes will go bad if you spend all too long staring at pages. No, that's not good enough. If your eyes go bad, dearest Mel, you won't be able to see me anymore. You know, this is my favorite season. Winter's cold, and there's so much rain I can't stand it. But as it is, gets closer to my birthday, the clouds go away. And I just adore the sun. Not yet. I want pretty dolls and shoes with sparkling gems. And I also want a pretty dress, like the one Mother wears. But dearest Mel, I already have what I want the most. So the truth is, as long as I have that, I don't need anything else. None of that, dearest Mel. That's a secret. Say, dearest Mel, would you run your fingers through my hair? Just for a little bit? Please, dearest Mel. And I want to sit on your lap. Hey, dearest Mel. Right now, I'm so incredibly happy. Oh, and out of curiosity, who was it? Who was it that you really cared so much about?
In a fevered frenzy, Mel fled from the mansion. Even in early summer, the night was cold. And to make matters worse, raindrops pelted him from head to toe. But that caused him little discomfort, for a far greater maelstrom of pain rampaged within his breast. At night, the town took on a different appearance. Not simply for lack of illumination, but the people active within it as well. It was not a suitable place for a young aristocratic man to go wandering unattended. The darkness is not only the abode of devils, but of beggars, thieves, criminals, and all manner of things undesirable. But despite that, he continued to run, knowing not where he was to head. He simply went where his feet took him. And where he arrived was the church. But as you might expect, the door was locked, and the priest showed no sign of responding to his calls. The sound of the pouring rain drowned out everything else. His head drooped feebly. He looked like a helpless little calf who had wandered alone onto a dark, precarious mountain path with no end in sight. Nevertheless, his sister's claims and her laughs continued to echo within his head. If he truly believed it to be false, he would have gone to look at the painting. That he could not was an indication that uncertainty had a stronger grip on him. Fragmented images of a white-haired painter fluttered through the back of his mind, but he desperately shoved them aside. Something moved near the boy. It stood immediately behind him and grasped his light dressing gown. He had been so consumed in his own world that he had not noticed the person's presence until they were close enough to touch him. Standing there was a beggar dressed in tattered rags. The hooded beggar tentatively extended his hand toward Mel, pleading for relief with sad, slender fingers. Were he a generous young man, Mel would have given the beggar something. Were he generous, of course.
Lord.
Suddenly, the beggar's head turned upward. Her hood fell back, revealing a hairless head. And a pair of red eyes gazing bitterly, though with a familiar, distinctive glimmer at Mel. She immediately covered her face and turned to run. But you said yourself that they would not survive much longer. How could you be certain she was that same beggar? Perhaps, as someone of such high societal standing, all beggars appeared the same to you. Or perhaps you wanted to believe your meager generosity made a difference, that you did something of value. I will not say it is wrong to think so.
Please do not go around this corner. I am sorry. am not angry at you. I am not. What? What are you? I don't understand what you're saying. Lord Mel? My appearance is no longer suitable to stand at your side. You saw how unsightly I am back by the church. Did you not? Now, I truly look the part of the heinous witch. But I am to blame. It was a sin for me to find happiness in your kindness. My sin was falling in love with you. Not what happened to my father, nor how we had to spend our days. That story never had an ending. I doubt the girl ever wrote that letter.
Your error was likely your kindness. Thoughtlessly, haphazardly spreading your generosity. But that generosity came from your own desire to avoid pain, for your own happiness. If you pretend like nothing happened, then perhaps they can go on smiling in your head. But regardless, you must follow the path you tread. It is your path alone. The path you chose when, in that moment, you decided to run. Make the wrong choice in those moments, and you shall find yourself on the road to ruin. At some point, your childhood must come to an end. And that ending may not be the one you anticipated. You yearned for a world that would treat you with kindness. You should return now. If you spend too long out here, you're liable to catch a cold. Now, let us return to our own time. The crestfallen young man faded into the distance, and the decrepit double doors clacked shut. Through the shattered glass you could see only the ruins of a garden, not a single rose growing within. You had evidently returned from the past. In the garden, weeds grew taller than people. You found it difficult to look at. The wolf howled in the distance. The children, the sea of roses, and the white-haired girl were nowhere to be found. You and the maid who called you master were the only people present in the mansion.
Before you continue, those lines in the mansion, is that the maid speaking, or is that the narrator?
I think that may be you, actually, Greg.
Okay.
In those cases.
Okay, no problem. I
It
just
was
want to
already kind of too late to...
That's a maid talking right there, just before this part?
This is,
okay.
But, okay.
No problem.
Okay. What happened to them next? Oh, Master, you would know better than I. My, you can't remember? It seems this is quite serious, then. Worry not, my loyalty lies with you, Master. The mansion has witnessed more yet. Let us make our way to the second door. I feel like this is a different narrator, though. Remember at the very beginning of the game?
It wouldn't say the maid if the maid is talking, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god. Your hand in hers, the maid guided you back through the kitchen and into the tea room. Her palms were still cold. You felt as though you were clenching ice.
Master, do you wish to know the truth no matter what may be hidden within? Or, if it was something you would be happier not knowing, would you rather remain in the dark? Oh, is that so? I wonder about their father. Yes, the flaxen-haired sibling's father. Do you think he knew about the white-haired girl? If he did, then perhaps he allowed her to stay because of how deeply he loved his wife. Or maybe because he didn't want people to find out about her. I expect he too experienced many different emotions. But those pages of his story remain untold. Their parents likely had a turbulent tale as well, but theirs is not of consequence. To whom? I couldn't tell you.
You and the maid cross through the entrance hall, continuing your trek. At some point, the fire in the fireplace had faded to embers, emphasizing the lack of light within the mansion. The maid took a candlestick and lit it in the cinders. A small flame illuminated her pale face. On a whim, you asked the maid about herself.
About me? I am a maid devoted to your service, master, as I have said. Oh, what was that? You're interested in my name. You flatter me. I truly do appreciate the question, but you're more than welcome to simply call me the maid. Also, it would make me much happier to hear you say my name after you have recalled who you are, master.
A subtle smile rose to the maid's face, after which she'd begun to lead you down a first-floor corridor. Still holding the maid's hand, you passed in front of a full-length mirror. In it reflected the warm light of the candle, which disappeared out of range shortly thereafter.
Oh my, something the matter? Did you come across something peculiar?
The maid had now appeared in the mirror. Oh, that's sus. Though she was not the only one without a reflection.
Also sus.
You reached the end of the corridor. There appeared to be a doorway, but the door itself was long since gone, leaving only a hole in the wall to frame the stairs behind it. Without hesitation, the maid descended into the darkness.
You have more interest in this mansion, master, than in a mere maid, do you not? Though it pains me to say as much in your presence, master, this house is cursed. Yes, it is a curse that runs deep. As you just bore witness to, the majority of those who dwell within these walls fall into misfortune. I have served here for many years, and periods of happiness are as fleeting as a sugar cube in a cup of hot tea. Why did such tragedies befall them? If I were to guess, master, it was because you had not returned. But when you remember your true self, the mansion's curse should be broken. The next door is before us.
It appeared to be the entrance to the cellar. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly rotten in several places, and it seemed it might crumble at a single touch. You could hear the sound of something devouring meat beyond the door. Maybe there was a beast living within. Before you had a chance to say you thought it was dangerous, the maid opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. Your first impression was that it smelled of blood.
The second door.
1707.
It's back to me now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this line here for you, or is this one Maid as well?
I think it's the maid
Okay.
narrating now. Okay. The mansion sat in ruins in that era. Not a soul resided within. The grandeur of the house was lost to the ages. It was in perpetual decline. Not a flower grew in the garden. Dust and dirt blackened the plaster. Cobwebs blanketed the corridors. Ivy shrouded the outer walls. It was not a pleasant sight. As hard as I tried to fight it, I couldn't stop the mansion's descent into disrepair. The depths of the previous owner's grief, or perhaps despair, was far too much. After the beautiful, flaxen-haired family, people stayed away from the mansion. They had no heirs, so their bloodline simply vanished into the depths of history. It had been about 50 years since the house last had a resident. The forlorn property appeared as though it had been abandoned for centuries, and the occasional villager who stumbled upon it did not remain there for more than a day. My time there was rather solitary. That was perhaps the loneliest time of my life. Everyone who visited the mansion feared it, and it was left without anyone to become its master. I even came to believe that my time serving as a maid would come to an end in this era. However, one day I noticed something out of the ordinary. As a servant of the house, I'm almost immediately aware of any new presence within its walls. And there appeared to be someone downstairs. Can you imagine just how delighted I was? Though part of me was anxious about what kind of person I might find, the possibility that it could be you had my heart aflutter. So resisting the urge to rush, I headed for the basement. The cellar was where red wine, smoked meat, and other preserved foods were kept. By that point, the wine was practically antique. As I had expected, a man had made his way into the cellar. Is anyone there? Although, I'm unsure if referring to him as a man is entirely accurate. Oh my, this is quite something. The very first thing I sensed was an almost unbearable stench. The odor emanated from a man heightened by the food he had carelessly rummaged through. Blood-red liquid spilled from wine barrels, soaking the floor. His sunken eyes had a piercing, wolf-like glimmer in them. His teeth were sharp and yellowed, visible as he ripped into a chunk of meat. He grumbled in a seemingly inhuman tongue. I was looking at a beast. Or perhaps the half-beast. There was another source of odor in the room, though. It had something of a kind of metallic tinge to it. And then, when I noticed this, I nearly passed out. The red liquid was not just wine, as I had assumed. The beast had, I presume, stolen a weapon from the village. A sword, far too nice for him, lay on the floor by his side. I could hardly imagine how many people's lives he had taken with that blade. It was visibly wet with blood, even in the darkness of the cellar, but at the same time, it had an imposing gleam. The fine, luscious aroma of the wine could not mask the stench of blood and the beast. Holding my breath, I took a few moments to ponder. Ponder what? Oh, Master, you know. Tell me, were you summoned here by the mansion? Did you come here knowing what kind of place it is? If you're in want of money, you're welcome to help yourself to some of the furniture. And I imagine the villagers would be willing to welcome you if you dressed yourself up a bit more like a person. Then you can trade the furniture for food and make your way to a larger town. The wolf was able to fool the innocent little girl simply by putting on clothing, after all. Oh dear, I was afraid he wouldn't understand me. What am I to do? I was in quite the predicament. Nevertheless, it meant a great deal to me then that I had found someone who did not fear the mansion, be they human or beast. So I decided I should give him my assistance, while doing my best not to agitate him. Say, could you, perchance, be my new master? The mansion sat near the ocean. To say it was perched upon a cliff might make it sound rather intimidating. But you could see the beautifully clear sea through the window, a glittering expanse of emerald and turquoise. If the mansion had been in proper condition, it would have been breathtaking against that backdrop. I even wanted to plant orange trees in the garden. Though it was a tumultuous era, the sun still shone bright upon the land, which only served to emphasize the house's unsightliness. Oh yes, perhaps I should give you some more background information. At that period in time, a war had just drawn to a close. The once gorgeous wetlands were infested with crows picking at decaying remains. Bodies of soldiers fallen in battle continually washed up on the shores of coastal villages. The people wanted nothing more than for the curtain to draw on that deeply political contest. And when it finally did, the kingdom, with its richly fertile shores, was stripped of its independence, beginning a new era under new rule. The people were exhausted, their spirits wasted away, and the splendor of the ocean and sky did nothing to help. In my mind, the beast was emblematic of the times, emaciated and enveloped in the scent of blood. But the war came to an end. Thus the beast did not have to remain a beast, I thought. Did he? And so I endeavored to make the beast more human-like. First, I needed to do something about his appearance. I would draw a bath, scrub away all the filth, and dress him in clothing left in the mansion. However, having sat unused for 50 years, the majority of garments had been devoured by insects and were of little use. So I searched the mansion top to bottom for anything the beast could wear, heated up some coals, and set to work ironing what I found. Oh, it's okay.
No
How
problem.
We're
dare
just
you.
talking about the story and my pet beast. Okay, I had read this part. At the time, steam irons had not yet been invented. We used plates of iron heated with coals. They somewhat resembled kettles. I even prepared meals for the beast in order to teach him proper table manners. Although, with the mansion in a nearly uninhabitable state of disarray, there was only so much I could do in the kitchen. And the only supplies I had to work with were what was left in the cellar. As such, I was not able to put to use the cooking skills I had learned in the flaxen-haired family's time. Now, you mustn't eat with your hands. Do you want to get your fingers and face dirty? You eat using a knife and fork. See? Like this. I feel like I'm teaching a young child. Oh my, what are you holding your head for? Oh dear. Perhaps I should be teaching you to speak before table manners. Worry not, we have plenty of time. You needn't act so frightened. Or perhaps you do not want to be understood at all. Would you be so kind as to tell me your name? You are, for now, still a guest. It's too soon for me to call you master. Or am I mistaken? Your name, that is what people call you. How about I start by telling you my name? I am called Bestia. Your name is Bestia? I see. Then that is what I shall call you, Bestia. My, you seem to be rather perplexed as to how I was still alive. He had, in fact, attempted to cause me harm. However, I am a servant of the house. The beast called himself Bestia. It is a curious thing. When I learned his name, he seemed to take on new importance in my mind. He was not a mere beast, but the thing called Bestia. Master, should I ever have the chance to hear your name, I am certain you too shall become more substantial a presence. But you must always remember, Master, that even if you do not remember your name, and even if you never know mine, you have always held a special place in my heart. And thus began my tranquil days with Bestia. Slowly, he began to learn the human tongue. And I was, to be quite honest, rather thrilled. To be certain, I was afraid of the beast. But my fear was not so strong as my elation that there was someone else in the mansion, someone to whom I could speak, and someone that might become my master. Come now, you must pull weeds out at the roots, or they will soon grow back. This is a task that requires perseverance. You do it like this, see? There you go. Oh, did you not expect that? What appears to be many plants on the surface is actually all connected within the soil. This is a task that requires a man's strength. If there were other servants, they could do it. So I apologize for making you tend to the garden, future master. Or perhaps, now that you're all dressed up, do you wish to leave the mansion and find someone to fool as the wolf did the sweet little girl? Have you no interest in remaining in such a disheveled house? Go on. Oh my, is that so? If you wish to stay, then I shall not stop you. On the contrary, I will gladly attend to you. I'm waiting for the person who is to become my master. Forever waiting. I should be able to watch over you until the day you depart this world, old and wrinkled. Do you not believe me? Are you interested in becoming the master of this house? I have to wonder if you know what you're saying. Although it matters little whether you do or not. Oh my, look at that. Now this brings back memories. This is called a rose. Do you know what a rose is? It's a type of flower. I see. Then allow me to teach you. What you have here is not a real rose. The real roses wilted and are sleeping in the soil. This is called an accessory. It is something women wear. The beast held an ornamental white rose in his hand. An object someone, sometime, meant to give to someone else. Curiously, the white rose was just as stunning as it had been the day it was made, despite being buried in the earth for so many years. I hear roses make wonderful gifts. He stared intently at the decorative rose. I had presumed the beast would either discard it disinterestedly or destroy it. But, much to my surprise, Bestia held it gently in his hands, as though it were something precious to him. Are you, perchance, considering giving it to me? So you are not. Very well. Is there someone else you would like to give it to? In that moment, a thought floated through my mind. The thing I had found in a pool of blood in the cellar was a monstrous creature indeed, but perhaps that was not, at his core, what he truly was. so I asked him a question. What is it that you desire, Bestia? This mansion fulfills people's desires. If you yearn for something,
Look at that filthy thing. A beast! It's a beast! It's eating goddamn sand! You really that hungry? Beast! Oh, hold on. I left the screen by mistake. Sorry. Oops. Hold on. Beast, you foul creature! Stay the hell back! Get any closer! Filthy beast! No, kill you!
several days passed by. As Bestia began to act more like a person, the mansion followed suit, slowly becoming more habitable, though not yet back to its former glory. No flowers grew in the garden, but neither were there weeds infesting it. The dusty corridors, shattered windows, rust-covered kitchen gradually returned to their proper states. Bestia learned how to change his own clothes and how to draw a bath. No longer did I have to wait on him hand and foot. He could take care of a number of things all by himself. What we lacked for food, he acquired from the forest. Never did he go to purchase supplies from the village. Rather, he captured hares and gathered herbs hidden in the overgrowth. They were days without incident. And though such a life may be wont for excitement, peace is something that you mustn't take for granted. Those who have it cast it aside, finding the leisurely flow of time dull. Only those who have never experienced it truly know how precious it is. Bestia appeared to be content. He wore an expression of solitary serenity.
Someone? Is anyone there?
And then one day, a crack formed in the uneventful tranquility.
Is anyone in there? Could you part with some food? I don't need much. Some food and water? Just a little. That's all I need.
Bestia looked over at me as if seeking my aid. Ironic, no? It was the visitor who was truly in need of aid. I pondered it for a few moments, deciding that I could not simply turn away someone calling upon the mansion. Had Bestia ordered me to not let him in, I would have followed his instructions, but he said nothing.
Oh, thank God, someone's here. I was afraid it was deserted.
You said you were in need of sustenance?
Yes. It doesn't have to be much. Anything to quench this thirst. I got lost and it's been several days.
Give me a few minutes. I'll find... A firm, deep voice came from behind me. I was quite startled. When had the beast learned to act so much like a human? When had he learned to speak so clearly and to behave so much like a master? Upon seeing Bestia, a look of terror appeared to cross the Wanderer's face for a moment. To my eyes, Bestia was the very image of a head of house, but to an outsider, he probably appeared to be nothing more than a beast in man's clothing.
Thank you very much.
But in time, the fear drained from the man's face. Bestia sat precariously on the border between man and beast. Though he still had his doubts, the Wanderer revised his first impression, deciding Bestia was human. As the wolf had fooled the little girl in the forest, he, too, had succeeded in playing the role of a man.
I thought I was a goner for a while there. You really came to the rescue. And a meal like this on top of that? You really didn't have to. Though I guess that's not an appropriate thing to say as I'm eating. What kind of meat is this? It's damn tender for a rabbit. Here I thought it was beef. You have quite the skilled chef. Oh, is she the one who cooked this? Is she your wife?
Oh no, I'm merely a servant.
A female servant? Huh. Don't see that very often. This mansion is just full of surprises. I can hardly believe it. Lost for days, and as soon as I think I'm dead, there it is. Thinking back on it now, it's miraculous. But why are you two living alone in a house on a cliff? Oh, I beg your pardon? Asking so many questions without telling you about myself. My apologies. Just a little too excited to finally see other people. I'm a merchant. I do international trade. Till a few years back, spice exports pretty much all came from one place. But now that we've established trade routes of our own, my country's fighting tooth and nail to push its exports. In fact, some have lost a few teeth in the fight already. But that's just how it works. It's a cutthroat world. You do what you must to survive.
That's just how it works, the merchant said, a sorrowful look on his face. He was quite clearly putting on a show, though. Confidence in himself and his homeland radiated from that man.
I came to this land to do business. But, much to my chagrin, I somehow ended up lost in the forest. Thank you. Had I wandered around for much longer, I'd lost a chance to ever see my beloved again. Yes, sir. Constantly out on business, so we only get to see each other a few times a year. She always waits for my return. I'd like to introduce you to her, if I ever get the chance. She's a pretty girl, if not especially striking.
The merchant was a man of many words, and I, for one, do not mind a lively supper table. Though I know not how Bestia felt, at the very least, I was glad we had invited the Wanderer into the mansion. He was, after all, holding a proper conversation with someone, and he seemed to be having success concealing his piercing, beast-like gaze. However...
Oh, right. I stopped by the village before entering the forest, and I heard a bone-chilling tale there.
As soon as the merchant brought up the subject, a palpable tension spread through the room.
They say there have been sightings of a beast. It's a creature unlike anything anyone's seen before. Not a wolf or a bear or anything like that. Even attacked the village once, killing several people. Thankfully, the men managed to drive it out. But the creature is still alive. There's nothing in this world scarier than a vicious beast. So you should keep an eye out. Wouldn't want to accidentally let a murderous beast into your home. At the villager's insistence, I had the smithy forge me a knife. Huh? Well, yeah, I've got it on me. Only good to defend myself with, but it's better than... What? What? Well, what are you talking about? What's gotten into you? Calm down. What are you so worried about? I'm not going to hurt you with this. What? Did you just say? Oh!
I like to imagine that before the wolf ate the poor little girl, he said, "Is this what I always looked like?"
What's your problem? What's wrong? Talk like a human. Stop! Stay back! Get any closer, and I'll stab you to death! Oh! Stay back! Ah! Ah!
In his hand, Bestia held his sword. Perhaps it had been hidden under the table, or maybe behind his chair? Regardless, it was as though he had expected this to happen. The merchant kicked aside a chair, attempting to flee, but Bestia closed the distance in an instant, knocking him back. He lost his balance and slammed against the wall, but still he made to escape though the beast stood blocking his path.
No, please stop this. Don't kill me. My beloved is waiting for me back home. I can't leave her behind. Ah!
A dreadful scream echoed through the dining room. I reflexively covered my ears.
Please help! Someone! Anyone! Help! That woman! Where did she... Why isn't she here? She was just... Ah! Mom.
They had been enjoying a peaceful meal around the table together just minutes earlier. So what had triggered this? If I were to guess, the merchant saying the word knife is what caused the beast to snap. A simple, small thing set him off. I could not comprehend it. Bestia, who had said he wished for peace, was staring down at the ravaged corpse of the merchant, with a look of ecstasy on his face. Master, can you understand how he felt? Even just a little? Did he not yearn for peace, but for slaughter?
Jeez.
I was losing my mind.
That was some good stuff.
Oh.
It was amazing.
Hold on, I gotta think of a voice now. Yeah. Alright, that does it for today's shopping. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Snack time. There's nothing better than having a ham sandwich in the park. Oh dear. Maybe I should lower my voice when I'm talking to myself. But it's so nice out. I just can't help myself. Does the weather have anything to do with talking to oneself? Not important. Food. Food. And if he were here, it would taste even better. I wonder when I'll get to see him next.
I guess I can do this. So. Pauline! Pauline! There you are.
Oh. Oh dear. What's got you so frazzled, Mom?
Oh, Pauline.
What is it? Did something happen? What's the matter, Mom? Mom?
Pauline.
This isn't like you, Mom. It's not like you at all. Tell me, what happened?
I told you to stay away from men who trade.
Huh?
Oh, Pauline, my dear daughter. Why must God be so cruel to such a sweet girl?
You're hurting me, Mom. Don't squeeze so tight. What's gotten into you?
Listen carefully, Pauline. You must be calm and hear me out, understood? Your lover, the beloved man you wait for, is dead. The beast's humanity began slipping away from him after that encounter. He had returned to the thing I had found in the cellar. Actually, he prowled the mansion's halls looking more barbaric than ever. Despite all the effort he had put into learning to act like a human, he now ripped the velvet curtains off the wall, howling shrilly, stomping back and forth through the hallways and ravaging the garden. I watched him intently, though from a distance. Bestia was not merely a beast, but an out-of-control, bloodthirsty beast. Just a few days ago, we had been tending the garden together, but that was no longer possible. I was quite disappointed. Eventually, Bestia discovered my hiding place. I had not felt regret in a very long time, but I felt deep regret in that moment. Are you saying peace was not enough to save you? Did I mishear you when you asked for peace? Why did I ever teach him to speak human language? Before long, the mansion granted his wish. Once a week, a villager or a traveling merchant from somewhere would wander into the forest, ending up at the mansion on the cliff. Though something felt suspicious about the man who greeted them at the door, on the surface, he looked like a proper nobleman. So they all eventually chose to trust Bestia. The mansion had an air of loneliness about it, but it was adequate to provide rest for their weary feet. There was food and a bed, and most comforting of all, there were other people. The lord of the house treated the lost souls like esteemed guests. He poured them fine wine and had me cook for them. No one suspected in the slightest that he was a beast. He put on a reasonably convincing act. Because yes, I had taught him how to behave like a master. The visitors all went to bed contented. But as I'm sure you can imagine, Master, they would never see the light of day again. The penetratingly bright sunlight particular to this area.
A beast! It's a beast! You disgusting creature! You hideous monster! Kill him! No, please don't!
Moonlight crept through the torn velvet curtains, shining down upon the blood-soaked beast. It was a sight that would incite terror in anyone. The mansion continued to stake the beast's demented craving, sending not one but multiple villagers into his claws. Into these blood-stained walls, off which echoed his monstrous howls.
Stop, please, I'm begging you. Spare me! Oh God! I have a wife and a son back at the village. Please, let me return to them. I am with child. Or is this lady? Please let me go. I'll switch to a woman's voice if I have to. Hold on here. You damn monster!
The beast began to change his style, making sick banquets out of his kills. Some days he would tie his guests up in the cellar, playing with them for hours until they finally died. Some days he would drain them of their blood and bathe in it. Some days he would spread them out on the table and feast upon them. Every week another atrocious party. He did everything imaginable. As a faithful servant of this house, I am confident I can do most anything I am asked. Though you can surely imagine my surprise at having to use the cooking skills I learned while serving the flaxen-haired family to do that. I can only wonder if it actually tasted any good. Beast.This' peculiar sword was always with him for his twisted banquets of self-gratification. However much blood stained it, never lost its sheen. It was as though the sword drank of the flesh of humans. Master, can you imagine just how wretched I felt? The mansion, once a beautiful sight to behold, reeked of death and acrimony. The stench of rotting flesh seeped up from the cellar. Even the years it spent forsaken and in ruins were preferable to that. Or perhaps I only had myself to blame. It was I who had invited the beast into the mansion. But Beast.This still sought to hold more of his perverse parties. Lost villagers were no longer enough to quell his urges. He was, indeed, a genuine beast. And in time, this is what he began to wish for. Do you know what he meant when he asked for the perfect prey, Master? Perhaps a hero, someone courageous enough to stand up to him, with whom he could enjoy a battle to the death. Perhaps a dazzling young nymph to satisfy his other primal urges. Or perhaps what he wanted was not human at all, but a demon or a phantom. I would soon find out, as the mansion attempted to grant his wish, bringing yet another guest to the house on the cliff.
Well,
the fun continues.
It's like this is like a different pace story, but I'm really enjoying.
Dude, it's just going full dark now. Like everyone will die.
everyone's going.
No games anymore.
That's it.
And I'm just imagining my character being like, you want me to tell you about the time that I had fed this monster that lived in the house?
She's cooking up these people. That's crazy, man.
I think the maid's psyche fully broke probably down this period.
She's literally the meme.
She's like,
where it's like, oh, go ahead.
It seems like she's just like never aging, so she's just bored and hanging out in this house. That's
what I get from it too. It seems like she's been living for a very long time, and she doesn't age in any way either. I think the maid is literally that meme where it's the dog with the house on fire. It's like, this is fine. That's literally the maid. And she's just sitting there.
As long as I have someone to be a master, I guess.
Yeah, cool. I just need some company, man. Just bring on an adventure, whatever.
Okay, let's continue to see what this beast is getting up to. If the devil guides us, I'm wondering who should take this part. You think it's going to be a woman this time? Okay. If God guides us, then perhaps I could accept that this was fate. Then it makes sense that I'm here.
And now it's like figuring out if it's the girl. Is anyone there? I've lost my way. Would you please be so kind as to spare me a little food? Oh.
Yo!
Oh. Different voice now. Oh. Then, I suppose I shall take you up on your generosity. I have been wondering for a very, very long time.
What was that, Master? You recognize her? I imagine you would. That white hair, those red eyes, skin the color of freshly fallen snow, and that flawlessly beautiful visage, you could not possibly mistake her for anyone else. And no, it is not someone who happens to resemble her. I can understand why you would be surprised, Master. At first, I could hardly believe my own eyes. The wanderer knocking on the door that day was the very same fair-skinned young woman who visited the mansion so many years earlier. The white-haired girl must have spent many, many a night in the forest. Her crystalline skin was covered in red scratches from where she had brushed against stray branches and tree bark. She had even lost her shoes and was standing there barefooted, looking quite disheartened. But that did not make her any less beautiful. In fact, you could just imagine the dense forest canopy parting to allow the sun to shine down upon her. The beast appeared surprised by her angelic beauty as well. It seemed as though all the madness drained from him in that moment. He said nothing, but his eyes told all. He was entranced by the sight of her ruby-red irises and her pure white hair.
Pardon?
But as I said, it was only for a moment. And once the moment had passed, the beast was barely able to contain the wellspring of madness within himself. He wanted nothing more than to run his sword through the white-haired girl that very instant, to torture her, to defile her. He tended to her wounds, served her supper, and drew a bath for her. And afterwards, the beast even made to provide her with a dress to wear. Even the outfit she had only worn for one night so many years before was there, waiting for someone to put it on again, for her to put it on again. He said she could choose anything she liked. She, being such a modest young woman, said she needed naught of such fine attire. And what a shame that was. I, too, wished to see her in a dress once more.
I need not such fine clothing. No, no, that's not why. No, I just... My apologies. You are very generous. I am glad that, after wandering for so long, I ended up here in this mansion. I thank you.
Bestia then made his way out of the girl's bedchamber. His mask came crumbling off after only taking a few steps.
Is someone there?
Yes, I came by to ask if there was anything you needed. I cannot offer you anything extravagant, not like before, but I'm here to provide you with anything in my capacity.
I appreciate the offer, but I need nothing. Being allowed to stay the night is more than enough. do you work here in the mansion?
Yes, indeed I do. I've been here for a very, very long time.
A very long time? You might think this is an odd question, but have we met before? Something about you seems familiar. And I get the feeling I have been in this mansion before.
Yes, we have met. It was quite some time ago, though.
When was it?
It was an unimaginably long time ago. Do you remember a boy and girl with flaxen hair?
Flaxen hair. I apologize. My memory fails me.
Do you not remember me either? I see. You should probably not push yourself to remember them. There were joyous times and there were less than joyous times. But would you be so kind as to answer one question? What might your name be?
My name? My name is...
Well, come on, bro.
I see. So you are... again.
Again?
You should get some rest. I will make tea for you in the morning. Also... go on, close your eyes. But Bestia never waited for morning to come. With his sword that smelled of blood hanging from the tip, the beast slowly, ever so slowly, crept toward the room where the white-haired girl slept. The time was soon approaching for the bloodthirsty beast to paint the walls with the young woman's blood, to turn her bedchamber into a gore-splattered altar upon which he would offer her to the devil. However, when he opened the door, the beast could hardly believe his eyes. He was not asleep, but sitting there, as if expecting Bestia's arrival.
I heard footsteps, so I... I was hoping to ask what it is that you want. If it's necessary. But is that what you want?
Beast.This shoved the girl back, slamming her into the mattress. He then stabbed his sword through the sheets beside her, looking down upon the girl, the moonlight at his back. Clenching her slender throat with one hand, he drew his sword once more, holding the tip but inches from her nose. No matter how much blood it drank, the sword continued to shine gloriously, as though it had just come from the forge. It was an awe-inspiring, tear-shedding blade, the sight of which would cause anyone to imagine the misfortune about to befall them.
I could just imagine him like putting his sword to the side, putting his finger up like...
If you say so. If you say that you are ugly, then I must be equally ugly.
What came from the girl's mouth was neither a plea nor an insult, nor a scream. Full-grown men had wept before him, and yet this slight young woman did not. Despite this terrifying beast being upon her, moments away from extinguishing her life. Even I almost shrieked in fright. Beast could believe neither his eyes nor his ears.
What am I to be afraid of?
What he expected was for the beautiful girl before him to desperately implore him for mercy. He wanted nothing more than to see despair seep into every corner of her red eyes. For he believed that it would be a truly sublime moment, euphoria unlike anything he had experienced before. Beast prodded her with his singular sword, poking a slit in skin smoother than silk.
You see me as pitiful, and so you are offering me release from my fate.
But she did not do as the beast wished. She looked up at him with sympathy rather than fear. This rattled the beast. He had never once seen anyone respond to him that way.
To me, you appear to be a person. You listen to the things I say, and you just respond with your own words. what you think, and you use your mind to come up with responses, and you hesitate. I will do nothing to harm you. We are alike. There's nothing beautiful about me. What value does that word appearance have? You have suffered much persecution, which is why you tremble in fear. I can hear the cries of your heart. I am afraid, but more than fear. I feel like I know what my role is. If you will have me, then I will like to remain here in the mansion. That does not change my mind. Please allow me to stay. I find it very hard to believe that what you want deep down is to hurt people. And I get the feeling that I am meant to be here. That is my rule.
Bestia was at a loss. He was, perhaps, afraid of this girl who did not fear him and even attempted to embrace him. She behaved too differently from all the other humans he knew of, who only ever harassed and pushed him away. Bestia's sword slipped from his hand, hitting the hard floor with a metallic whine. When the sound died down, the white-haired girl extended her hands for the beast with the utmost of affability. Her fingers were white as freshly fallen snow, something this area never saw. They traced his distinctive frame, they ran along his unusually shaped nose, they slid across his rough, yellowed skin, they drifted around his rather small eyes. The beast trembled once more, this time not out of twisted desire from deep within, but from the unimaginable comfort of physical contact. Her fingers moved so gently, so pleasantly, wrapping him in their warmth.
Are you crying?
A single teardrop slid down the arc of her finger. Looking into her clear eyes, Bestia came to a realization, and at the same time he felt somewhat dismayed. Taken in the throes of his primal urges, the beast had not noticed, but there was an emptiness in the girl's eyes. She appeared to be gazing far into the distance, not focused on the man, despite being close enough to touch him. Tears had begun running down Bestia's cheeks earlier, when she had called him a person. But it was not until one of those droplets had slid across the back of her finger that she had realized. She would, indeed, have no need of extravagant dresses. After all, she could not see what she was wearing.
That is correct. I am blind. But whoever decided that reality is only that which can be seen. I know not what appearance I have. In the darkness, everything is as one. There is no difference between beast and man. If you are a beast, then I too must be a beast.
To call the girl a beast would be paramount to eating sugar and insisting it was salt. Do pardon the trite analogy, please. But you know rather well, Master, that the white-haired girl was not at all what you could call a beast. Not simply in appearance, but all the way down to her core, there was nothing beastly about her. Her words brought him faint pain, but the beast still felt, on some level, that he wanted to keep her at his side, to see what would happen. His next words were in large part impulsive. Without exception, everyone who had wandered into the mansion had lost their lives before the sun rose the next morning. He was the first visitor who had not met this fate. Over time, Bestia's madness gradually subsided. He even began to seem rather tame. You would hardly believe it was the same beast who had once reveled in those perverse festivities. He was, I imagine, at a loss for how to behave. I, too, would be flustered in the constant presence of such beauty. But it was not just her appearance. She had said she wished to live with him, a beast who had committed countless atrocities. Perplexing indeed.
What is the matter? Do I appear to be afraid of you? Is something the matter? Oh, shall I make some? Are you thirsty? No, no. I'll take it. Because I'm happy. It's bitter.
Their life together began quietly, their days without event. They had no extravagant meals, there were no swaths of guests lending life to the mansion's halls. There was also no one screaming in fear for their life. It was the peaceful life Bestia had lost. And he had returned once more to that quiet realm.
What's the matter? My world is one of darkness, so I have a heightened sense of hearing. Occasionally, I can see lights. Yes, not a radiant light like the sun, but a soft light floating in the darkness. Like a candlelight, I suppose. Is that so? It's difficult for me as well. I am not sure how to explain it. But it's not complete darkness. I can sense your presence, for instance, and I can tell how windy it is from the way the window vibrates. And also, I also feel as though I can sense the wavering of emotions. The candlelight begins to flicker erratically. From fear, intense sorrow, or other similar emotions. I do not know. It could be yours. And it could be mine. This mansion is a very peculiar place. The candlelight is always wavering, and yet it seems somehow stable. It makes me feel as though this is where I belong. But you... Whatever you like. Alright, then, if you find any fruit, that would be nice. Uh-huh. It's sour. You picked it before it was ripe. I cannot see, but if fruit is still green, you're not supposed to eat it yet. What color are these? Shall I give you a hand preparing supper? Don't worry, I can tell for the most part where things are by touch and sound. Are you worried? If I appear to be in any danger of harming myself, please let me know. Then you have nothing to worry about. You do not seem any more comfortable in the kitchen than me. Huh?
I had hidden myself away. Bestia had learned how to go about his daily life without my assistance, and the two of them had no need of others in their peaceful world. Oh my, what is the matter, Master? I was not lonely at all, no. It was an absolute pleasure simply watching them. I mean that. It was not my role to be at his side, nor was I the one to be at hers. If she could make Bestia into the master of the house, then my presence was unnecessary. I appear when I am needed, as I appeared to serve the flaxen-haired family, nothing more. If they sought a servant, then would I show myself. Yes, certainly. After some time, they began to sleep in the same bed. Oh dear, no. Not for the reason you're imagining, Master. You thought no such thing? Though they slept in the same bed, they did not lay together. They did so, it seemed, because they were more comfortable in the same place. Two acted more like family than lovers.
No, I'm awake. Right now, it is very calm. What? Me? My childhood. For as long as I can remember, I did not have a father. I lived alone with my mother, but I never felt like that was a bad thing. Yes, very. She was a compassionate woman. But we were poor, and because I cannot see, my mother was the only one who could work. She would be away for long stretches of time, supposedly because she served at a respectable house. I do not know whether or not that was true. Perhaps she was doing much more demanding work. I never asked. I believe not asking was best for her. From time to time, I would receive letters from her. Someone would live nearby, read them to me. The letters went something like this. Life in the mansion is difficult, but everyone treats me so well. And they say I do good work. I'll be back with more money soon, so you be a good girl. Other than that, she'll allegedly express concern for my health and safety, as well as repeatedly saying how much she loved me I did. Nearly everything I remember my mother saying to me was written in her letters. So much kindness and warmth. Before long, she lost her life at her place of employment, and I was sent the money she had earned. It was, I imagine, enough to survive on. When my mother was alive, she was often lamented my blindness. If only you could see, she would say, I could show you just how extraordinary this world is. So I decided I would visit a renowned physician in order to fulfill my mother's dream. A physician in this country. However, upon examining me, he said he could not restore my sight. Dejected, I was on my way back home when bandits attacked. They robbed me of the money I brought to pay for my treatment. I lost everything my mother saved for me, the money she gave her life to earn for me. I failed to repay her for anything she did, which cast a dark cloud over my heart. My world has always been wrapped in darkness, but at that moment, I was in the deepest abyss. There was not even a speck of light. I was at a complete loss. With nowhere to go, I simply wandered, no destination in mind. And that was when I miraculously arrived at this mansion. It was as if it had been summoned me here. I apologize for not having a brighter tale to tell. I imagine you were hoping to hear Jurafoil childhood memories. Pardon. You are so compassionate. I was perfectly fine. I took a few scratches, but nothing you need to worry about. I believe that I am happy now. I was unable to regain my sight, and I haven't the money to return home. But I believe I left in order to come here. Is your life right now happy? What is? A white rose accessory? No, I do. I just, for some reason... Never mind. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, is that where we're stopping for the night?
Yeah, I would love to continue, but